Hi, my name is Tasha Danielle, and I'm founder of Financial Garden. Financial Garden is a financial education company that teaches students kindergarten through 12th, adults, and educators how to win with money. In this video, I'm going to go over the 4 things I did after paying off $80,000 in debt before the age of 30. If you're not familiar with my story, please check out the description box below where I'll link to my videos explaining how I racked up the debt, reaching my aha moment, and the steps I took to pay off the debt. Let's dig in. The first thing I did after paying off $80,000 of debt was publish a children's book. The name of the book is Amina's Bracelets, and it's available on Amazon. Yes, that was a shameless plug. Be sure to pick up the book today. The book journeys a 9-year-old little girl starting a business selling bracelets to reach a financial goal. I decided to write this book because when I go into schools and teach children about financial education, they very rarely know anything about investing or entrepreneurship. And when we discuss ways to reach financial goals, they only think about saving. When I ask high school students, how do people reach wealth? What do you think? They always say saving. Even when I lead them like, hey, when you save the money, what do they do with it? They're like, it just grows because they save and add more money to it. So I really wanted to reach children elementary age to plant the seed of entrepreneurship and investing in themselves by starting a business to reach a financial goal. The second thing that I did after paying off the debt was travel. I traveled so much a year that I paid off debt. In previous videos, I shared that I used the debt snowball method to pay off my debt. When I used the debt snowball method, I rewarded myself after paying off each loan balance or credit card balance by going on a very cheap trip to visit a friend out of state. Or friends, I should say. And I would either get in my car and drive to somewhere like Pittsburgh or New Jersey, or I would find a very cheap flight to go to Atlanta or Orlando. My friends are all spread out over the US, literally like from east, west, south, everywhere. They're all across. So I would find a cheap flight, go visit them, stay with them. So lodging was free. We would cook our meals. So it was no different from me buying groceries here and cooking them at my home. I just was doing it in my friend's house. I really wanted to take my travel to the next level after paying off my debt, and I did just that. My #1 bucket list travel destination was South Africa, and I was determined to go. So much so that I went to South Africa solo with a company called Travel Noir, and I met 13 strangers, all happened to be women, and we had the best time of our lives. It was the best. It truly was an amazing experience. And aside from checking that off my bucket list, I was traveling somewhere every month, if not twice a month. Right after publishing my children's book, my grandmother passed away, and that really led to all the travel that I did. I grieved her loss by traveling. And when I realized how much traveling I was doing and that I wasn't reaching any other of my goals that I wanted to after paying off the debt, I decided to slow it down and look at that list of things I want to accomplish. I want to say that I did not go into debt traveling. This was all paid for in cash, but I had things that I wanted to accomplish that was not just traveling. And one of those things that was on that list was to live in a downtown apartment. So that leads me to #3. I moved into my dream apartment downtown Detroit with a view of the Detroit River, floor to ceiling windows, and literally footsteps from the newest bars and restaurants in Tiger Stadium and Ford Field. It was just amazing. This was one of the things I had on my list of things to do after paying off my debt, because I had sacrificed so much by living in the boonies, living far from friends. When I was in this amazing, gorgeous apartment, I'm like, okay, it's time to really get focused on #4, which was investing. My original plan was to invest money into Financial Garden so it can grow, pun intended, and to actually open up a Roth IRA and begin looking into and putting money towards investing in index funds or real estate investment trusts, like things of that nature. And I want to say that I was already investing in my 401k. I had been doing that all along my debt payoff journey. I just did not think it was best for me to leave money on the table by not at least contributing up until my employer match. When I was weighing my options on how I wanted to allocate those funds between the 3 things I just shared with you, one of my good friends who happens to be a realtor called me, and she was so excited, and she explained to me that her and her husband had just purchased a multifamily home in Atlanta, and they were crushing it. Their cash flow was amazing, and she was saying that I should do the same in Michigan. And I told her absolutely not. I was like, you're married, you have a unit, you guys, you are a team, you tackle things together. I don't know anything about home ownership. I was living in an apartment. I had lived in an apartment my whole life. And yes, home ownership was definitely on my list of things to do after paying this debt off, but it was not in year 1 or 2. I can tell you that much. And she just kept pushing me, like challenging my excuses. And I was just like, okay, fine. I will look into it. I will research it. Which research to a millennial means YouTubing, podcasting, and Googling. And I did all 3 extensively for 2 weeks, and I made a decision to get involved in real estate investing. I decided to do this over the 3 options that I was weighing because I wanted to do this before my lease was up. So originally, I had looked into real estate investing as purchasing a single family home and being able to stay downtown. But when I crunched the numbers and thought about my comfort level of having a home, going into debt for a property, and living in a very expensive apartment downtown, I didn't like it. What if I didn't have a tenant? What if all the things that could go wrong went wrong and I had this apartment? I just didn't feel comfortable with that. So after looking at a couple single family homes and continuously crunching the numbers, I decided to go with a multifamily property. And when I made that decision, I chose, closed on the multifamily property in 60 days and moved into my multifamily home and began renovations. And I'm going to share all the details of my real estate investing journey in future videos. But that's it. Those are the 4 things that I did. Number 1, publish a children's book that you need to go purchase on Amazon. Amina's Bracelets. Number 2, I travel the world. Number 3, I moved into my dream apartment only to move in my first home a year later after moving into that apartment. If you have any questions for me or comments, please leave them below, and be sure to like this video and share if you care, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.